What we have is two 20-pound tanks. These are both full and ready to go. And how this works is this nipple here will point to the tank that you run off initially. When this tank empties, this window will turn from green to red and let you know this tank is empty and it's switched over automatically, as long as both tanks are open. And then you got your power tongue jack up front. This will raise and lower it. So you got it up and down. And then the button on top is for your light. If you need to manually crank it up or down, you can remove this plug here, and there's a crank handle that comes with it, and you can crank the power tongue jack up and down if you need to. You also have a 24 group 100 amp hour deep cycle interstate marine battery that you can charge over and over, and the battery should charge while you tow down the road, and it will charge when you plug into electricity. This is your water heater. It runs off electric or propane. If you want it to run off electricity, there's a toggle switch on the lower left-hand corner. So this is for electricity. If you want it to run off propane, there's a switch inside for propane. So again, electric switch is outside, propane switch is inside. You can run electric, you can run it off propane, or you can run it off both to get quicker recovery. Your drain plug's also here. So right now the unit's coming to you winterized. So there's 3 steps to de-winterization. The first step's easy. You just put the drain plug and you screw it into the water heater. Step 2 is you hook a hose up to the city water, which we're going to refer to in just a minute. So let's do this. Step 1, hook up to the city water, flush the lines. Step 2, put the drain plug in the water heater. And then the third and final step is there's a valve underneath the bed inside the trailer. You'll turn that valve down. You'll hear the water rush into the tank. You'll walk out here, make sure water's coming out of the blow off, and that way you know you can go ahead and turn it on. There's water in the water heater. This is for cable TV input, so if you go to the park and they got cable, you want to hook your coaxial right up to here, and then you'll have cable TV. If not, you have a high def antenna right on the roof. Slide outs, you want to make sure you're on there cleaning the debris off. If you don't, you have a chance of ruining your seals on that. So any debris, water, gunk, you want to make sure that stuff's off there before you bring it in. City water connections here, you get to the campground, screw your hose right onto the city water, you turn it on, you're all set. Everything's integrated. Otherwise, if let's say you go to a state park or you're off-roading and you need to take the water with you, stick a hose in here, you fill this tank up, and there's a gauge inside. You can push a button, you can check when it's full. So you fill this tank up, and then with this you use the water pump to pressurize the water system. With the city water, you don't need that. You run off the pressure from the hose. So pressure from the hose and then tank fill to the left. There's an outside shower here with hot cold running water. This is a black tank flush. What you're going to do ultimately is hook a hose up to there and flush the black tank out, and I'll show you how to do that now. So this is for the gray water. It's the smaller pipe. This will be for the kitchen sink and the shower. So what you do is hook your hose up here, you complete that connection, pull the gate valve, and you'll dump all your gray water. In the back here you got your black. It's the bigger pipe, the bigger gate valve. This is for the waste. So again, you want to hook your sewer hose up, lock it in place, complete that connection, pull the gate valve, dump the sewer tank. Once it's dumped, you'll leave this open, and this is when we'll go over to the black tank flush with the hose, and we'll turn it on. We'll let that rinse the tank out for a few minutes. Again, make sure this gate valve's open. If it's not, it'll fill the black tank up and it'll overfill inside the coach. You got stabilizer jacks on each corner. So the first thing you really want to do is when you're backing it up into your site, make sure you're level side to side. If you're off severely, you can place a piece of wood under the tires or some blocks, and you can level it side to side. At that point, you unhook and you raise the power tongue jack up and down easy. Once you're square, then you'll go back here and you'll crank these jacks down until they're firmly touching the ground. Here's a vent here for your toys. So if you're traveling down the road and you got some toys in here, there's one on each side. What I like to do is open up one side so the air comes in, and then the other side you can exhaust it out if you want to. Obviously, if it's raining, you probably either want to close them or flip them this way. Got your patio deck we set up, very easy. We use the bottom pin as the hinge. We take the top one out so we can simply fold the gate up and down. This RV is also equipped with backup camera wiring. So if you want to do a backup camera, it's really easy. You take the plate cover off that Furrion. There's 4 screws, remove it. There's a plug that's hanging there. You'll plug your camera to this, screw it back on. The monitor's wireless, and that plugs into the cigarette lighter. Easy. Now we've torqued the wheels down at 100 foot-pounds. The factory is done at, sometimes the drivers do it, but we've done it here for sure. We'd like you to check it a few more times just because it's new. If it's loose every time you check it, then you want to check it one more time. Now, you can also grease the wheel bearings. If you pop this cover off, there's a greaser behind here, and you can add some grease to the bearings. That's more of a really once in a while thing. Couple squirts once a year, that would be more than enough, and then take it for a trip. Outside speakers, you can actually take the TV from inside, you can bring it outside, so you can move the TVs around. There's similar brackets. There's also male pieces that fit the back of the TV for this. And then this is electricity. You can plug stuff in here. And this is your HDMI and your cable or antenna hookup, so you can watch TV outside if you want. Air intake and exhaust for the furnace. So this will suck air in. This will exhaust hot air out when your furnace is running. There's a quick connection underneath here, so if you want to do some outside grilling, all you do is plug your gas grill into that, and you run off the main propane tanks up front. Now, if you want to run a solar panel, this is very simple. You just plug a solar panel into here, and that'll keep your batteries charged so you can camp off the grid. Great feature. Let's head inside. Okay, so here you have your monitor panel. What this is going to tell us is how full the battery is. So it's showing it's full. Fresh water tank is empty, your black and gray tanks are empty, and as they fill, these lights will populate and tell you how full the tanks are. We talked about the water heater. The electric switch was outside, the propane switch is going to be on the inside. You hit that and it'll light automatically. Water pump switch is for the fresh water tank, so again, you fill the tank up, turn the pump on. Pump won't run unless you demand water. If you're using the water hose hookup off city water, then you don't need the pump. Various lights, inside lights, inside lights, inside lights, scare light on the back corner, and this is the awning light. This will run your slide room in and out. So same thing on the inside. You want to make sure there's no obstacles in the way that can get drug underneath the slide, rip the vinyl, cause damage, cabinet doors left open. So once you're clear, then you can run the slide in or out. This button here is for the awning, extend and retract, very simple. It's a 12-volt motor, runs right off your battery. So you hit extend, the awning will run out, you hit retract, the awning comes back. Now if you have heavy wind or rain, it's just a good idea to put it away. Maybe at night you just want to fold that up anyways also. Keys are on the faucet. You got a set of keys for the front door, set of keys for the rear door, and then the silver key is for the storage door. Now you'll notice there's numbers on the keys that'll match each lock, and there's a sticker on the inside of the lock. You can compare those two. Okay, stovetop's pretty simple. It runs off propane, so what you want to do is select the burner. So you'll select a burner, turn the gas on, rotate the piezo, voila. If you want to light the oven, turn it to the flame, knob on the far right, and then rotate it, and that'll light the oven. Let go, check the pilot, make sure it's lit, and then you can turn it on and cook when you want. When you're done, you turn it back to pilot. You don't have to relight it, or you can simply turn it off and back on again. This is for just lights. Okay, refrigerator is electric default, so the default is always going to be electricity. So you'll turn it on here. The button on the right, so if you press it in, it's on auto, which is the electric default part. So it will always draw off electricity unless you unplug it, then it'll switch over to propane. When you regain electricity, it switches back automatically. If you want to bypass it and run it off propane, you can do so by extending the button on the right. Otherwise, if you want it off, turn it off. Propane leak detector is down low. You have a propane leak detector, a carbon monoxide detector, and a smoke alarm. This one's wired to the battery up front, so also when you get a dead battery, that's going to give you a false alarm. Keep an eye out for that. All your breakers and fuses are to the left here. Anything that runs through electricity runs through a breaker. That's all labeled. Anything that runs off the battery is fuse. You know, if a fuse blows, the light will come on, so you can see it right through this door. So if you walk by and you notice there's a light on, you got a blown fuse. This table will fold up. You can bring it out on the deck. These benches simply fold up against the wall. There's a clip for the strap. There's a strap right underneath the benches, so all you'll do is you'll take that strap, clip it on here. Take the cushions, probably throw them on your bed would be a good spot for them.